This week's Parsha is Parshas Toldos. Parshas Toldos is filled with many stories about Yaakov and his brother Esav and the interaction and their friction. But we're going to focus on the Haftarah. The Haftarah of this week's Parsha is taken from Toldos, one of the 12 prophets. At the end of the prophets, there is a book called Toldos, which is really comprised of 12 books from 12 different prophets. Anyway, one of those prophets, his name was Malachi. Malachi, some people say, was Ezra, who was one of the great people during the time of the Beis Hamikdash. Either way, the beginning of the Haftarah begins with Hashem reprimanding the Jewish people for bringing less than satisfactory sacrifices. They brought lame animals, they brought blind animals, they brought very low, very grade Z animals as sacrifices, and that to Hashem was not acceptable. Now, first of all, we have to understand, what does that mean it wasn't acceptable? Does Hashem really care about what type of sacrifices we bring, whether they're fat, whether they're blind, when they have good vision or bad vision? Why do these things make a difference to someone who created the world? So in this Haftarah, we have the concept which can be applied to many different areas of performance of mitzvahs. It's called, the phrase is, Hakrevu na lefsachecha. Bring it to your door. Would you accept it? Meaning that, of course, to Hashem, the fact that we sacrifice fat, able-bodied animals makes absolutely no difference. And when the verse says that Hashem smells the sacrifices burning and he is satisfied, it doesn't mean that Hashem likes to see fat animals burn and enjoys the smell that comes out of that burning. Of course not. What it means is that when we do our performance of our mitzvahs, it's what we value. It's our play, our actions, the way we evaluate them, that means a lot to Hashem. So if we were to bring an animal to a king or president as a present, we would never bring a lame animal. We would never bring a blind animal. We would never bring a skinny animal. We would never bring a rabbit. You would bring something that is of substance, something that is of value, of superiority. The fact that our relationship with Hashem, and we're performing this present, so to say, to Hashem, and we're not willing to do the same thing we would do for a Melech Basar Adam, a king of flesh and blood, that was the issue. Not the fact that to Hashem makes any difference. Of course not. That's the concept that can really be stretched across all mitzvahs. Many people will say they see us doing this, they see us doing that, and their critique is that, why would you do that? You think Hashem cares if you do it this way or that way? Or you think Hashem cares if it's a lulav with a perfect top or not so perfect top, or that the esrog has one black dot on the top or not? Well, the answer is that everything that we do and the meticulousness that we do with is because if we were to bring that same, let's say the President of the United States said, everybody with citron fruits, I love citron fruits, the most perfect citron fruit, please give me a present of it. I will appreciate it, and I will show you my thanks. Of course, you would look for every little black dot on the top of your esrog, on the top of your citron. So it's no different with God. Not that because to Hashem, the fact that the esrog has a little minuscule black dot on the top makes any difference. It's because to us, the fact that we go through the acts, the performance of the mitzvah with such meticulousness, it shows how much we appreciate and value our relationship with Hashem. And that's the concept that we see in this week's Haftarah, Hakrevu na lefsachecha, bring it into your doorway and let's see if it makes a difference. Meaning that we have to understand that everything we do reflects upon what we feel is our relationship with Hashem, even if to Hashem himself it makes absolutely no difference. The question on this week's Haftarah, actually, which will not be answered in the Divrei Torah because I spoke about something else this week, is the following. At the beginning of this week's Haftarah, it says that the Jewish people were complaining to Hashem that Hashem doesn't love them. What was the substance of their complaint? They were complaining because they said, the Bnei Yisrael, the Jewish people said, that Hashem, the reason why you treasure us is because we're the children of the forefathers, not because of who we are. And to this Hashem answered that that's not true, because Hashem chose Yitzchak, Isaac, as the chosen child, and he was to have the Jewish nation, and from him came two children, Yaakov and Esav. And nonetheless, Hashem decided that the Jewish people would be the descendants of Yaakov. And for that was Hashem's answer to the Jewish people's complaint. What we have to understand is that why was Yaakov the linchpin? Why is it that Hashem chose Yitzchak, but once it came to Yaakov and Esav, then the choice to be Yaakov to be the father of the Jewish nation, that's the proof that the Jewish people needed, that they themselves were loved, and not just loved because of their forefathers. Yaakov is also a forefather. Why does it make a difference if it's Yaakov or Yitzchak? How did Hashem's reply, his response, how did that answer adequately the Jewish people's question? If you want to know the answer, I'll be happy to tell you on Shabbos. Have a great Shabbos.